Welcome back to the studio build. The goal of today is to clear all this out of the way and then lay out in detailed measurements exactly where we want each station to be and measurements for wood and what we need to build. Zoobity boo. And it's cleared out. For the most part, I don't want to move all this stuff. Okay, so along this wall is going to be a general purpose workbench, standard. I mean, it could be for sewing, sketching, desk work, computer might go here. I'm just gonna keep this pegboard here. And we're probably gonna come 2 feet out. That's what I'm thinking. Gives us a decent amount of depth. That's 2 feet. And it's gonna run all the way along the wall to here. Obviously this here is also going to come 2 feet out. It's about, let's see how tall this is. Bear with me, bear with me. That's a weird height. It's about 41 1/4. It's interesting. But I think that's gonna be like a good working height. So all our workbenches are going to be 41 1/2 inches. Okay, this might seem terrible, but we're literally gonna mark out 2 feet. I'm almost wondering, I almost want a little more than 2 feet. I think I'm gonna go 2 1/2. We're gonna have a corner right here. This is me standing at the edge. I feel like that's a good amount. So now for this way, we're gonna take it as far as we can go up until probably here, where our electrical panel is. So let's see how long that is. Just about 6 feet. We're just gonna round down to 6 feet, which puts us right at, should be perfect. Now, with this wall, we were gonna do this anyways, but I don't really know what's happening here. This stuff's kind of just flaking off. It's disgusting. So I think we're gonna just end up, we were going to do this anyways, just make this whole wall a plywood back. So let's write down our full measurements. We're gonna have 2 feet, 2.5 feet, that's a 5, by 6 feet, 6 feet. And then here's the electrical panel. And then this wall, we actually need to measure this length. So we know it's going to be 2.5 feet. And then length, not quite as long. This is just rough. So rough length of this wall, almost exactly 8 feet. That's awesome. I'm going to go and say it is 97 inches. Sweet. So we might need to round that down, but that's the max width we can go. Which actually, we need to subtract that from 2.5 feet. So 2.5 feet. So this whole span is 97 inches. So that really leaves us with a lot more space because in addition to those workbenches, we're gonna do a center island. Now this is gonna be for tie-dyeing, tufting, kind of general utility. So again, I can walk around this way, walk around this side, okay, go around this way, tie-dye the shirts, that sort of thing. I honestly want to say right about where I am. I need my other marker. So I kind of want to start right about here because I want to leave a walkway this way, and this way. So let's figure out first how much space we have from the edge of this workbench wall to this edge, which like I just discussed earlier, I'm bad at math. All right, okay. I'm okay at math. My head's just all over the place. 97, 2 feet is 30. So 97 total minus 30 is 67. So that gives us from the edge of this workbench to that door opening over there, 67 inches, which is about 5.5 feet. So we need to take some room down. I did want this workbench area to be about 4 feet in width. So that would that would give us about 1/4 foot on each side, which that's not doable. That's terrible. I would say walkway distance, we probably want about 3 foot of buffer just to be comfortable. Like that feels about right. Like that feels easy to walk with. So let's measure 3 feet. 3 feet from here. So we're roughly, the corner is going to start about here. Okay, so I know it's hard to see, but that feels good this way and this way. That really doesn't give us, if we're starting here, that doesn't give us much distance to this opening. Really only about roughly 2 feet, which ideally I wanted it here about 4 feet. That does mess up our flow a little bit, but I don't think it's the end of the world. So let's say you walk down the stairs. I can walk this way, or walk down the stairs, walk this way, walk into our work area, walk around, or third option, walk down into the work area and into the screen printing room. So it sticks out a little more than I want, but I think we're gonna work with that and say roughly 4 feet here. I want it to extend pretty far, or honestly, like I'm not opposed to the square look. I think I could get away with more, but I'm really pushing it here. Okay, so originally I was thinking 6 feet this way. So let's just see what that looks like. 5, 6, right there. That almost feels a little big. Actually, I almost want to be awkward and go to 5 feet, but that's gonna screw up our cuts on the plywood and then introduce a lot of waste. So part of me says sacrifice and put it down to 4 just to save cuts and save plywoods, because then I can get pretty much all these workbenches are going to be 1, 2, 3 of plywood, and then plywood on the edges. So, and it's going to make shelves, right? If I shrink it down to 4, I can get 2 cuts out of a 4x8 sheet of plywood. And I think economically, because plywood is expensive, that is what we are going to do. So let's draw this up. All right, so let's move this guy. I swear I turned the grid off, but it's okay. It's not okay, I don't want the grid. We said an invisible line, ... 3 feet on each side. That should be dotted. ... 3 feet. And then we're gonna have a 4 foot by, it's actually gonna extend out a bit. 4 foot, 4 foot, why did I do that? Square right there. That leaves us with this random area over there. So this area, again, we can't do much with these pipes here, the electrical panel. I think long-term end goal, what we're gonna do is get just kind of like a cool something, maybe like a fabric backdrop and a curtain rod, and just hang it that way up on the ceiling beams, so we can cover it and hide it but still access it if there is a need to access it. But with that, that leaves us a little extra room. Like, one of the things that's really gonna increase efficiency is having a spot to do photos. And I think this is gonna leave almost the perfect spot to do photos. So if we treat this area as like a backdrop that we can swap out if we want different kinds of backgrounds, I think that's gonna be a really good use of space. And we still really have this wall, which I almost wanna make this a little bit of like a little lounge, a little vibe, you know, sit here, drink some coffee, sketch. I think that's kind of what we're gonna end up doing. That takes us into the magical screen printing room. The beauty of this room is we really don't have to do too much structurally. We've got the press. I know it's a little tight right here, but I shouldn't be here that often. Maybe just often enough to be annoying. But right here, this gives us room for squeegees, other screen printing accessories. We'll probably get some shelves for this pegboard or some way to just hang squeegees. The main thing we need to figure out though, inks and screens. So we're gonna move this. It's ugly and in the way. I know it's annoying to get to, but I'm not gonna be getting to them that much, is inks down here. And again, we're gonna add some shelvings and have our inks here. But that still leaves where we're gonna put screens. Specifically, drying and coating screens. It's a little tight. This is gonna be the main spot for the level. Again, there's not gonna be junk here. That we're gonna be screen printing. So there's flexibility to move around, do all this. Screen print here, walk out. I don't wanna put too much on the wall here, but we do have a little bit of room, maybe up higher. I don't know how much usable space that is. But what's really nice is in here, special closet. In here is a closet that is under the stairs. I thought about putting inks in here because there's storage, a bunch of nice storage really. It's nice storage. I could make it screens and drying racks. I could make it an inventory room. I really don't know what to do with this space, but I also don't want to be opening and closing this door a lot. I guess that's not the end of the world. I don't know. I've got to figure out what to do with here. We don't really have like because I want a rack to dry screens. We don't really have a place to do that yet. And we haven't figured out a place to put our clothing inventory yet, which is also a bit of an issue. So I do have these racks or shelving unit that is half built because I lost the rest of these, but I'm almost thinking whether it's this or it's something else. This, dear God, this, oh my gosh, this wall right here is going to be a good spot for inventory. We could even take up this whole corner. And honestly, I'm not opposed to putting screens and a drying rack right here. I know it's at the other end of the basement. It's a little bit of a walk, but it's kind of out of the way. So that's tentatively what I'm thinking. But again, a lot of this is flexible, especially for this because I'm missing a lot of these panels. And I'm hoping they turn up, but I don't know if they will. That's going to be the general structure of this space and that space in there. A lot of the details we're still going to have to work out and play with by ear. But I think that's a really good start. And I think this is gonna, I mean, we didn't have space before, so any space is amazing. And the fact that we can spend the time and the money to make this functional and work and not have bins of clothes stacked on each other in a 5x5 foot shed. It's gonna be a lot of work. It might be a little expensive, but once it's done, it's gonna be a breath of fresh air. And I've been dreaming of this for years. Make sure you're subscribed. This is the start of a long journey. We're going to document the whole process. We're going to even be sharing the financial side of things, how much everything costs. So if you're a small artist just starting out, you can kind of see that it's manageable, it's doable, hopefully. We haven't gotten into the financial parts of it yet, but we just want to be really transparent with learning how to, the whole process, learning how to woodwork and build things, the struggles, the high points. We're going to share it all, and we're going to be very open and transparent. And again, like I said, no matter what, I'm so excited, and I hope you join me along on this journey.